Nigeria is currently facing an economic crisis that is impacting people significantly, from rising food inflation to currency devaluation. Businesses and individuals are feeling the strain. And I have spoken to a couple of people, and just hearing them talk about how they are navigating this storm is disheartening. And I thought to share today what we can do as a family to cushion the impact of these economic challenges. Because I know this is taking a toll on some marriages, taking a toll on our mental wellness, our physical wellness, and it has to be discussed. We have to start thinking differently on how we can mitigate the impacts of the current crisis that we have in the country. I think the first one I'm going to talk about is on the need for us as a family to come together at this point. It is very crucial that we have to maintain that unity. We need to have that conversation. So I would always say, let's sit together, let families sit together, the wife, the husband, because it is important that we start at this point to understand what our priorities are. How do we begin to adjust some of our decisions to be able to go through this together and manage our finances together? This is not a time where the man is saying, this is what I have, this is the money I have, you have to make it work. And this is not also the time for the woman to say, see what your mate out there are doing. We need to talk about how this inflation is affecting everyday expenses, such as our groceries, our utilities, transportation. We have to look at all our essential expenses that must be prioritized, such as rent, healthcare, utilities. We also have to discuss non-essentials that could potentially be reduced or postponed during this period. This is the time where we have to track all our expenses. We need to have a budget. We need to stick to it. We might also start having that difficult conversation. Do we need to change the children's school at this time and probably augment it with home tutoring? Do we need to dial down on the entertainment subscriptions? Do we need to pause some of our capital projects for now, if any? Do we need to reduce our investments for now? Do we need to travel less or visit cheaper destinations? These are conversations that we should have. You might want to involve your children in some of these decisions, especially if they're old enough to understand, because some of this would impact them. Let them know why the changes will be happening. Let them know if it is temporary. And let them also know that as things ease out, they will be the first to know. This is important because it wouldn't be good, that this situation breaks up our relationships or impacts negatively our marriages. So this conversation has to happen, and we have to have a united front to be able to take a well-informed, well-aligned decision. The second point I would say here is this may be the time that you should start considering monetizing your skills or your hobbies or your talents or that thing that, you can do well, better than other people. I had a conversation with one of my vendors a few months back when he was complaining about business being slow and him having difficulty with meeting some of his needs. I told him to consider training people. If he has a flair to train, then maybe this is an opportunity for him to start teaching people and getting money from it. This is the time we have to start considering additional income. What is that thing that we can do that can give us, more income to supplement what we currently earn, on our day job? For example, can you offer freelance services in areas such as writing, graphic design, photography, tutoring, or consulting? Some things will never go out of demand. You need to identify these things and see how your current skills can provide these services. For example, I have 3 online teachers for my children, and they each have their full-time jobs. So basically, this is like supplementary income for them. You might also want to consider side hustles at this point. If you have a flair for business, you might want to give it a consideration. What products do you have access to cheaply and can get customers for? And you can also leverage a social media network for communicating this. Then the third one I would mention is that you should please resist the urge not to save. No matter how difficult it is at this time, stick to your savings plan, even though this can feel like a daunting task. Because I believe that with this rising inflation rate, volatile job market, it is easy for us to say, you know what, I'm going to spend every money that comes my way just to get by. But please try to still save, because this will help you with stability and some security. You might need it. You might need this fund. And then the last thing I would like to talk about is that you might need to change the lens with which you look at the current situation. I continue to believe that this situation has some opportunities in it. I know that during COVID, the pandemic was severe, but I also recognize that some people also grabbed opportunities during this time. So please don't just see the challenges. I want you to also ask what opportunities are there that I can leverage in this situation. Some people are actively looking for these opportunities. Try to be one of them. And just maybe that side also that you would, venture in now would one day become the main hustle. You never can tell. Napoleon Hill says every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. So please, let's find that seed because it is there. I hope you have found the tips very helpful. If you have, please feel free to share and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And until next time when I come your way again, take care of yourself.